Hey, National Treasure 1 is just called National Treasure, right?
Yes.
Okay.
National Treasure Book of Secrets was released in theaters as National Treasure Book of Secrets.
Yeah.
And on the DVD, it was National Treasure 2, in case people weren't able to follow that it's a sequel to
Is it
National
number
Treasure
2?
1.
Yeah.
National Treasure 2, Book of Treasure.
Secret Treasures.
We're gonna go with the theatrical release title.
Yeah.
That's what I'm partial to.
Had they already decided not to do 3? We haven't gotten a 3, but do you think they knew back then there's never going to be a 3?
Well, okay, so they didn't know there would be a 2 until the surprise. I mean, shouldn't be a surprise because the movie was like fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh my, this is so surprising! This movie did so well." It's like, are you kidding? It's one of the best movies you've ever released, Disney.
Yeah.
And then they greenlit 2, which certainly comes across when you watch this film. So one thing about this movie is, like, in National Treasure 1, they sort of imply that Nicolas Cage's mom is dead.
Yeah.
But then it turns out she's alive.
Hey, and hotter than ever.
Yeah.
Woo!
But yeah, so they greenlight this, and then from what I gleaned from the research I did, everyone wants a National Treasure 3, obviously. That was the long lost white whale of like a trilogy, you know.
100%.
For like one of the first times in history, people were like, "No, we want a trilogy. We want the third movie." And in, I think it was 2013, John Turteltaub had said that there would be a National Treasure 3, and then by 2015, I think he was asked again, and it was like, "There's no progress on it."
No.
2020, Cage, I believe, this again, don't quote me on all this. This is, I think, what I read. Cage does an AMA on Reddit. Someone asked him about National Treasure 3. Mm-hmm. By that point, Edge of History, the TV show, which I've never watched and never will, is in production, and Cage says there won't be a sequel and I won't be involved because they wanted to focus on a Disney Plus TV show.
Oh my God, which is surprising because Disney loves money. You would think after a movie like this, National Treasure 2, not 2, Book of Secrets makes $500 million. Didn't it made like 500 mil? Like close to $500 million.
How much it made. Yeah.
About 490 or something like that. You would think there would be a third parter.
Well, but like the entire industry has shifted towards being like, just watch things for longer. That's all they care about.
Yep.
And like, it makes sense in a very cynical way. Like, it makes sense that they're like, no, everything should be a TV show because you should stay on our service longer. Everything's designed to be on there longer. We were talking about, now I haven't seen it, but maybe you can attest to this, but that TV show, Murder at the End of the World.
Yes.
You described some of it to me, and I've heard a little bit about it, and I was like, this sounded like it was a movie, and they have they have like 1 or 2 really good ideas that could fill out a movie. Mm-hmm. And then they get in talks with someone like Disney or whatever, and they're like, what if it was 8 hours? And they're like, well, I get we can, but like some things are, lots of miniseries TV shows, especially the ones that you're like, this one's going to be 6 episodes or 8 episodes. You're like, this just should have been a movie. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
100% should. Yeah.
And then you watch it and you're like, I think this originally was a movie. Yeah.
And I know Disney's not to blame alone for this. Netflix does this too all the time. I guess a la Queen's Gambit could have been a movie, but, you know, we do get 10 hours of one premise. So
the weird thing, like, I always make this, I don't think it's like a joke. I make this comment about Queen's Gambit all the time. And I like, let's compare a couple like miniseries. Because like Queen's Gambit I thought was strictly fine. Yeah. I didn't think it was amazing. There was like 3 weeks where everyone was like, is Queen's Gambit the greatest show that's ever been made? And it's like, no, it's not actually. It's really not. But like, compare it to something like Mare of Easttown, which I really, really liked. Like, these miniseries have almost no impact. No. Everyone talks about Queen's Gambit, and then Netflix themselves overwrites the conversation by releasing something else.
Totally.
And it's like they have no real legacy.
Wow.
Yeah, unless, I don't know, maybe there's a big contingent of, I know people love Queen's Gambit, I get that, but like maybe there's a big contingent who are like, I've been rewatching Queen's Gambit and I love it. Yeah. Like I rewatched Mare of Easttown. I think it's really good. But they really don't have like the legacy impact of prestige shows that go for multiple seasons.
No.
All except for maybe like Chernobyl. Like people still kind of mention Chernobyl in parlance, but then again, Craig Mazin, who created it, has a television show on now. So that makes sense that they talk about Chernobyl.
Right.
I don't know. It's really interesting the way they do that. And like, I mean, to bring it back to National Treasure, Book of Secrets came out, and like I haven't watched a single second of it, and I already knew people were like, no, no, thank you, we reject this as a thing. Yeah,
shocking. Because I know the critic ratings obviously predictably very, very low, but audiences love a good Nic Cage freakathon, and even
Nic Cage isn't in it. That's the whole problem. That's like one of the huge problems. And the other problem is that these movies, the thing is like, they're kind of exciting because they take place over like 3 days.
Yeah.
And like, I know I can like watch the show to find out, but like, what could a series consist of?
Yeah.
How many mysteries are you solving?
Yeah.
Because like in the movies, it's like, they're knocking down clues fucking every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like Nancy Drew, but then if you don't have the star power of Nancy Drew Cage, then it's not gonna work.
Yeah, and also like I think every miniseries I've watched, regardless of quality, in the last like couple of years, almost every one episode I've been like, yeah, I didn't need that one.
Okay,
Get
cap
rid of that
it.
one.
Yeah,
that one.
Call it off.
Cut it. Cut that whole episode. Can you cut 60 minutes out of it? Cut it. Yeah.
Grateful that it's at least just a miniseries and not turning into another 6-season.
You know what though? If it had been like super popular, they probably would have been like, it was a miniseries, and now we're bringing back fucking National Treasure: Edge of Tomorrow or whatever. You know, like, you know.
Ooh, sick crossover. Yeah,
they happen in the same cinematic universe.
Damn,
you probably didn't know that.
It's true. The multiverse of treasures.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're talking about National Treasure 2 today.
Yeah.
And we got a little sidetracked. I had something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, go on.
It's actually, I have a little quiz for you.
Oh.
There are 4 performers in this film, 3 of which have won Best Actor or Actress at the Academy Awards, and 1 has been nominated. Now, can you name the 4 actors, and can you name the films? And I will give you a clue.
Okay.
That if I hadn't looked this up, I wouldn't be able to get it.
Okay.
And interestingly, I've never seen any of the movies that they've won for or been nominated for.
Let me start off with one of the biggest names in it. Helen Mirren.
Yes.
For Elizabeth the Great or
no.
Queen
that's the Kate Blanchett one. The Queen.
The Queen.
Yes.
The Queen.
So okay, bingo. Helen Mirren.
Shit.
That's an easy one.
Easy one.
I mean, there is another incredibly easy one too.
Ed Harris for something.
Did he win?
No, I think he got nominated but didn't win.
What was it for?
I'm blanking on the name. Tell me the name.
Pollock.
Oh, see, I didn't see it.
I've never seen Pollock either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't even heard that name in a minute.
Ed Harris is I only looked at like the best actor, but like
okay.
Also like I also noticed too, Keitel was nominated for a supporting actor. He's never won. I think Ed Harris has been nominated for multiple supporting actor awards. He's never won. Okay, 2 more.
Okay.
2 more. Come on.
I want to say Bruce Greenwood for iRobot, but no.
No, there's 2
Not
like
even close.
the 2 who are the other 2 actors in this
Well,
film?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage 4.
Ooh.
A movie I've never seen. It's from the 90s. It's pre The Rock.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Raising Arizona?
No. Post Raising Arizona. Leaving Las Vegas. That's
okay. Oh, again, I haven't seen it either.
I often forget Nicolas Cage won Best Actor in the 90s. Yeah. I think many people often do. And who's the last one? The last one is
Jon Voight.
Jon Voight
for Enemy at the...
No. A movie called Coming Home. I've never seen it.
No idea.
From
my God. Okay.
Late 70s, I think. Yeah.
Holy shit, I gotta catch the fuck up to all these award-winning what's-her-faces.
It's so interesting because I've just never seen any of those movies. You know?
Pollock, been a minute since I heard that word. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
star-studded
this movie
fucking
is
cast.
Crazy star-studded.
Yeah.
And you know what? Want to hear? I throw in an extra interesting little quiz about Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren wins Best Actress for The Queen, and she's invited to Buckingham Palace by none other than Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh my God.
To honor Helen Mirren for her great win. Helen Mirren cannot attend
Stop
because
it.
she is in South Dakota to film National Treasure, Book of Secrets.
Are you what a fucking king pimp move.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I'm with Nicolas Cage.
Helen Mirren's like, oi, bruv, I got better things to do.
I've got treasure hunting with the prince himself.
So I'm going to go dig underground, mate.
I don't know why she's like Old Town
That's
Boy.
That's exactly how Helen Mirren sounds. She's actually putting on an accent.
Helen Mirren's a top boy.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oi, John Boy, I'm not happy I married you, mate.
Oh, what a stunner. I love her.
Helen Mirren, I think, I love, speaking of miniseries that I love, I May Destroy You. I think Helen Mirren could have been great as the best friend in that.
100%.
Just like her.
100%.
And I'm totally blanking on her name, the creator.
Yeah. The main
Michaela Cole.
Yeah.
Just hanging out and just talking shit.
Fuck.
That movie.
Or like as her book promoter or something.
Nope, just her best friend.
Just her homie.
Just because like of a very regal and staid miniseries like I May Destroy You, which is super chill.
That is fucking
and
cool.
Prestige and beautiful.
Now that you mention, I do want to see her in something with Riz Ahmed. That'd be fucking dope.
Oh my god. National Treasure 4 starring Riz Ahmed and Helen Mirren. Oh, okay. Here we go.
We're
Soft
casting.
pitch. Riz Ahmed,
Yeah.
graduate student in ancient Native American languages. Helen Mirren, graduate advisor. They fuck. No.
No, they decide in Natch Tresz 4, I'm going to fuck the United States of America's president. Well, that's kind of this movie too, but you know.
But yeah, so that's it. That's all you got. Riz Ahmed, Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
Go.
The president.
Cormac and other person Wibberley, start writing because you got a movie on your hands.
Guys, I mean, we're done the hard work already, so.
Yeah. We've done most of the work.
Jesus.
Can you please pick up our slack? So this movie is not very good. I am happy that we're doing it now because I feel like the only thing I've watched is a constant stream of either National Treasure 1 or National Treasure 2 for the last 3 days.
We're neck deep in gems and jewels, baby.
I'm not sure at what point I'm in the middle of either of those movies, but I'm finally happy that it's over.
Hey, that's actually a good compliment to a film because if tonally it doesn't vary all that much. So when you're like, I'm in the middle of either 1 or 2, which is great.
Well, can I contrast these movies and compliment number 1 and kind of not compliment, do the opposite of number 2, whatever that is? I can't think anymore. National Treasure 1, when last episode, whether we did a good job or not, I was like reciting the plot from memory because it is so easy to remember what's happening in that movie. This movie, no. I cannot remember
because
anything that happened.
It takes 1 whole hour before they even introduce what the Book of Secret is.
Yes. It reminds me a lot of The Crimes of Grindelwald where there's like a solid 20-minute stretch where I'm like, yeah, that happened. And I don't remember why.
No.
And a lot of this movie, the main problem with this film, the biggest problem is that Ben Gates, Ben Gates' problem in this movie is neither interesting nor particularly high stakes.
No.
He wants to clear the name of his ancestor Thomas Gates, who was accused of possibly being a collaborator on the assassination of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care.
He'd been dead.
Does anyone even remember people from that era? Like, does anyone? Do you know of people who lived before 1900 who you're related to? Because I do not. I do not.
No.
Yeah.
And we live a long life, and even then, I'm just like, nah, man, I'm capped out.
Yeah, all of your ancestors lived to 125. Yeah.
They're gone now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they lived a long time. But so I just find the whole journey to just be like, why? Why are they doing this? Yeah. And then because of that emotional kind of blank space, it's like the city of gold, which they end up seeking, feels like a MacGuffin. Like, who cares?
Who cares?
And then the legacy of Ed Harris as the villain who's redeemed at the end is just kind of like, sorry, dude. Like, who gives a shit?
Also, I guess you don't have to know too much of American history because they do handhold you through the whole process. They make up a lot of it. But if I was watching it as someone younger back then and I had no idea who shot who and who's conspirating against who, I wouldn't know what Ed Harris's ancestry is.
I don't even remember now.
He's a Wilkinson, but I don't know if he is. What?
Like, I struggle right now to remember why Ed Harris becomes the villain.
Yeah.
And like that's the problem with this. Among many problems with this movie is like it's so cloudy to me why any of this happens.
Yep.
And it seems very contrived.
And because at one point there's like a small child who also comes up on screen and like grabs Nicolas Cage and is like, "Hey, Lincoln's assassination was a ploy by the state and not really by one guy who was also an instrument of the state, which is trying to kill him." What the fuck?
I didn't look this up. Is that child the very same child who plays in the very completely normal episode of How I Met Your Mother where Barney hires a fake family for his mother?
No, he's about the same age then.
I think it's the same kid.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the one who has the catchphrase. You're trying to have the catchphrase
I remember.
In an episode of television that's down to earth and realistic. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's the same kid. It looks like the same, and it would be it's
got the same energy for sure.
The timeline would fit. Yeah.
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 Man.
Wow, we haven't even gotten into it.
Well, we're gonna struggle through the plot here.
Let's do it.
And I wanna compliment Justin Bartha for his performance.
Beautiful.
Locking it down as Riley Poole.
Oh.
And the other thing I like about this movie is that it shines a little bit more of a light on the way that sidekicks are often overlooked.
Yeah.
Because like he's like integral to both plots, and I mean, Nic Cage just would be nothing without him.
100%. And every time he's on screen, someone either calls him who, or oh yeah, you're Ben Gates' assistant.
There's a scene where they're at John Voight's house, and he's like, "Didn't you read my book?" And John Voight looks at him, but the edit is like a moment too long, and it looks a lot like John Voight was like, I forgot my line.
Yeah, so he just stays there.
But he gives him like, it's not even like a withering look. It's like a blank stare, like he's about to ask, like, "Who are you?"
Yeah. Which is a nice contrast for later for anyone who's not in his immediate personal circle has read the book. For instance, the agent FBI guy on the case. He's like, yeah of course I read it.
Yeah, Harvey Keitel is the only good guy.
Yeah.
And then Nicolas Cage hadn't even read it either.
Nobody.
Which is ridiculous. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this plot. Jesus Christ. So, and I want to say something really, this is, I was laughing at something earlier.
Yeah.
That it's not funny when I explain it, but it really made me laugh just because I'll explain. So it opens just after the Civil War, like 5 days after the Civil War. These guys approach Thomas Gates, the ancestor, with a thing to decode, and he helps decode it. And then one of those guys is John Wilkes Booth. He goes off. He shoots Abraham Lincoln. He yells the Latin thing. And then the other guy shoots Thomas Gates, the other conspirator, just before, as he solved the puzzle, or just before. I don't remember.
Sure.
And then he says something to his grandkid that's comes in important later.
Yeah.
So I was reading about, I was looking on the Wikipedia page, and I was just like scrolling through. You know, Wikipedia has a bunch of footnotes and references and things like this. There's like, so there's further references which are like related to articles or like journalist things or reviews or whatever.
Yeah.
Just above that, there's a little section called notes, and that's like reserved for other stuff. And it's just a little footnote, and all it said was, the actor who plays Abraham Lincoln is not the radio personality Glenn Beck. Do you know who Glenn Beck is?
Yes, but why are they calling him out specifically?
Because the actor is named Glenn Beck,
oh.
but it's not. Now, if anyone doesn't know who Glenn Beck is, he's a conservative personality who had a radio show, a television show. He vehemently rejects climate change.
Quality.
He once said that Obama was planning like a Oklahoma City style bombing in the United States.
Oh, cool guy.
And he compared both Obama and Trump to a little known fascist named Adolf Hitler.
Oh my God.
He's a total like kind of right wing conspiracy nut guy.
Oh yeah.
And but like when you look at him, he looks like Guy Fieri's chill brother.
Yep.
And to think that person would be mistaken
confused
to play Abraham Lincoln is
amazing.
So good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There is, oh my God, now that I'm seeing it, literally the first picture is a comparison of Glenn Beck standing next to an Abe Lincoln impersonator.
Amazing. That like it's so
Worlds
funny.
collide.
It's so funny because like it's just that little footnote just popped out of nowhere and made me giggle like a little lady.
I feel like Glenn Beck went into that article but like, it's not me. Like he edited
People
that
keep
note.
asking about my experience filming National Treasure too, and I just want to talk about how Obama hates white people.
God damn it. Let a man live.
So Thomas Gates is killed. He tries to, he solves the puzzle for them, but he realizes they're part of this Confederate conspiracy to assassinate Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Which happened, guys. Abraham Lincoln shot in the head by Glenn Beck.
Take it up with Blaze Media. He knows what's up.
Sorry, the Wikipedia. I have the Wikipedia in front of me for the plot, and I love. It's like so it starts in the Civil War, and then in the Wikipedia, whoever wrote this, they're like more than 140 years later, and it's like you just say in the present day. Like, it's like why do you have to tell us?
Because they're nothing if not accurate about inaccuracies.
It's like it can't be less than 140 years, but it's definitely a little more.
For sure.
Oh man. So Ben Gates telling Thomas a story at like a conference, and then Ed Harris shows up and says, he's like, I have proof that your ancestor was the whatever.
Well, it's so funny to me that like any other modern day conference, that guy would be like, yo, get this QAnon guy the fuck out of here. Like they would just dismiss him in 2 seconds. Security wouldn't let him chat, and he just takes command of the room. Well, like over Nic Cage, and is like, I gotta pace a piper.
But I also love how much controversy it garners in the moment when you're just kind of like, guys, this happened over 140 years ago. Like, who cares? It's really not. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is what is really ultimately what is Nicolas Cage worried about?
It's the besmirch when he says that phrase about like his name is Mud, and then he compares it to some guy named Mudd, Mud, and is like, oh, his name was dragged through the ages, even though he was proved to be right, but forever he's considered to be the Hitler of terrible names. So I guess
Hitler of terrible names.
I guess he doesn't want that for the Gates, because then the software billionaire would be like, I gotta switch it up for myself, and then Microsoft would be in jeopardy. Okay, it is all connected.
I don't know.
But yeah, I guess it's all about like redeeming the one good name of you and your family.
But like I just can't relate to that. Like I don't know. I don't understand why it matters.
Yeah. Well, you have a cool name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But also like I don't know. Like if someone was like, one of your ancestors was a murderer, I'd be like, neat. Who did they murder? Like,
I know.
And why?
If my last name was like Rasputin,
dude, if like one of my ancestors like had assassinated someone important, like I mean, who cares? And also that's kind of interesting.
True. And it's also so disconnected by at least 140 years.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Like I want to get into international assassinations, but like it's not because of my ancestors.
Hey,
it's because
you are killing it.
It's just a dream. Thank you, babe.
On this
Thanks,
spot.
babe. I needed that today.
I got you.
But it's like not because of that. It's not because it runs in my blood. Cold-bloodedness.
Yes, that's true.
And away with weapons. Shurikens.
Look at my shit.
Look at my shit. So anyway, they like this is so dumb. So okay.
Oh, I love this movie. Okay.
He goes to get a diary from Abigail Chase, who he has since divorced.
Yes.
And she lives in their gigantic house, and she's dating the guy from Modern Family.
Phil Dunphy.
Mr. M Family.
Yeah.
And I think that's his name.
Love him. Yes.
Yeah. He's great. He's a good actor. Never seen Modern Family in my life, but I know he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he needs a diary from her. Him and Riley, who has written a book that no one likes. Yep. Also, the most unrealistic part of this is, as I said earlier, Justin Bartha is kind of a hottie, and all of these women are just kind of like, get out of here.
Okay, nerd.
But it's like, dude, he's a
little
babe.
geek.
He's a total cutie.
Yeah.
And he gets his Ferrari repossessed by the IRS. This comes in handy. This is important to know later because, as usual, this film resolves with some deep, deep corruption on behalf of the United States government.
100%. Everyone's just like, money, you can has it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, Riley. Yeah, and so they break into Abigail Chase's home. They get this diary from her.
Yeah.
Abigail Chase, as usual, even though she should have learned by now, she's like, there's nothing on the back of this diary. And Nicolas Cage is like,
man,
clearly there is, Abigail, and you should just trust me for once in your goddamn life.
They've been on life-threatening missions in the real world together, and she's like, there's nothing more to it, guys. And every time, guess what? There is more to it.
The issue with this is like this movie has to take a step backwards. And it has to force a step backwards to, like, you just redo the love story with Diane Kruger. They
And
just
why?
Yeah,
It was unnecessary.
they got divorced for a reason.
Yeah, man. It felt like forced, and I didn't need to know whether they were separated or if they wanted to get back. As we've established before, Nic Cage's sexual chemistry is with Nic Cage. Like, we don't.
Yeah.
You gotta fist it back in.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Babe.
Embrace it back in.
Yeah.
But if it was like a love triangle or something where Diane Kruger found like another Diane Kruger twin or something, great.
What, for her to fall in love with?
Oh sure, why not? It was a progressive world. I'd be like, okay, now we got tension. Yeah, because
No.
Nic Cage is not interested in any of that. He just wants to treasure.
He just wants the treasure.
The Natch Tresz.
Natty Tresz, yeah. So they figure out that there's something on the diary, obviously, and the clue is on the Statue of Liberty in Paris.
Yeah.
They have a little Paris interlude, like literally they like stop by on that one iconic bridge in Paris and look at the Statue of Liberty. They have an encounter with fucking French Buster Bluth,
Yeah.
who gives
Oh my god.
Riley Poole the ticket.
That's so funny because
Yeah.
now I can't unsee it.
Yeah, dude, go back and
he
look.
really
He is fucking
It's Buster
Parisian
Bluth.
Buster Bluth. They find out that the engraving references the Resolute desks, these twin desks made from this ship called the Resolute.
Right.
I'm explaining this like people might know because I didn't know about this. I learned this from this film.
from the movie
Yeah.
too. I know, and I thought they just made it up, but I guess maybe it's true. But
It is the desks are true.
there are two
The-
Resolute desks.
Yes,
Damn.
the nonsense, the hidden compartments are not true.
Okay, yeah, well that's fair.
I have to
one
say
is in-
too. So the FBI gets back on the case here, right?
Yeah.
Immediately following this French Buster Bluth scene,
Sacre bleu.
there's the weirdest little moment that I absolutely love,
Yeah.
where Harvey Keitel and the two FBI agents are doing a little walk and talk down a hallway. There's an FBI agent named Alicia. The actress's name is Alicia Coppola.
Okay.
No relation to Nicholas Cage Coppola or Francis Ford Coppola or any of that. She's just an actress.
Yeah.
But there's another guy who is also in National Treasure 1, whose name I do not remember. They do this walk and talk, and they walk down a hallway. And as Keitel and Coppola turn, he walks straight into a door, tugs on it,
Oh no.
looks down, and is like, "Why is this locked?" seemingly, and then just continues on like nothing happened.
What?
It's so weird. I
Did
don't
they
know.
forget to take out the edit?
I don't
or-
know why. No, it's in one shot. I don't know why they kept it in. It's so strange, and it feels like there's like a weird like deleted moment, and it's so weird looking. And
You did point out there's a lot of weird.
there's
like,
a couple
freeze flame things where it's
Yeah.
not needed. And
yeah. So
certain actions.
they the Resolute desks. One is in London at Buckingham Palace, and the other one is it's at Buckingham Palace, right?
One is with the president.
And one
of
is
the
with
United
the
States.
United States president at the White Buckingham Palace.
At the White Palace.
And the White Palace.
Whoa.
That's a location in like a fantasy place somewhere. That rings a bell. The
Yeah.
White Palace.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. Who cares? So they go to London. They go to find this desk because there's got to be like a hidden compartment. They break in on like a tour or something. Again, I don't really remember how. They get in an argument.
Well, the boyfriend of Diane Kruger, who she's dating, is a White House
No,
guy.
that's at the White House, not at Buckingham Palace.
Ah, okay.
So the argument, they stage an argument, him and Diane Kruger, who has happened to show up there, and they recruit here. The argument scene is one of the most unhinged things ever put on cinema. Nicolas Cage is absolutely off his fucking knot. It's so crazy.
Peak Nic Cage in this scene where he's doing the most hand-mouth acting.
The part where he runs down the stairs and he's like, "Hey, everybody, look at this. This is more interesting than that. Look at this."
And he climbs up on the banister upside down and slides down while doing just an array of European accents.
Also, yeah, guys, if you think my English accent is bad, it's 100 times better than whatever Nicolas Cage is doing.
Question mark.
Now, while he's there, the security guard mentions
Yeah.
smells scotch on him. He's like, "Have you been drinking?" He's just a nip. But did you happen to notice the brand of whiskey or scotch rather, that he
No,
dabbed on
I
his
couldn't
neck?
see the bottle.
Jura. Your guy.
And he wastes
From
it
the
on
Isle
his
of Jura.
neck?
It's like a little airplane bottle of it.
Oh.
Yeah. And he like dabs it on like cologne, and then they get thrown into a cage, and then eventually they get to look at the desk. I don't remember how.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Jura, if you want to sponsor us.
Yo, send
into our
us a
mouths.
bottle.
Yeah.
Yo, motherfucker.
Hey, whoa.
Hey,
Respectful motherfuckers.
Jura,
we love
send
you.
us a fucking bottle. Just a nip. That's a perfect Nicolas Cage.
Yes, I want to dab it on my neck.
Yeah. So then they go through a big car chase where the other weird edit is where it's like Nicolas Cage like both furrowing his brow and like pursing his lips.
He's doing the Dwayne Johnson.
He's doing like the Blue Steel a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just a momentary cut where it's his as our friend said earlier today, the reaction shot where they must have shot like 30 things and done different reactions.
Yeah.
And this is just the one that they somehow chose, and it's the weirdest thing. And it's like if you want to see it, it's right in the middle of this car chase in London. He asks Riley to hack into something, and Riley says, yes, I can. And then like Abigail turns and looks at him, and he's just giving the strangest look, and it's like a half-second shot of him. It's beautiful.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So unhinged, so unnecessary, and yet a little treat, a little treasure for us.
A little national treasure. That's
Natch
what
Tresz.
Nicolas Cage is.
Yeah, baby.
That's because he's only 3 feet tall.
Yeah. He's a pocket-sized
He's the size
treasure.
of a bottle of Jura. Yeah. Back in America, they return to John Voight.
Yeah.
They find like a board with all these symbols in the desk.
Sure.
They get a picture. Again, who cares?
They get
a picture of it, and they're like, "Oh, how do we translate this? Who can do it?" They go back to John Voight, and he's like, "Oh, it's definitely like ancient Native American symbols or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, there's only one person they go to. Mom. Nicolas Cage's mom.
Yeah.
And they go to her, and she's a real ice queen. She's a real queen herself. And oh god, it's so confusing.
What are you tripping up?
So he gets the board with the symbols.
Yeah.
He gets a picture of it. He throws the other one away to stop Ed Harris from chasing them.
Yeah.
Ed Harris gets that board. They bring it to Helen Mirren. She translates it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nic Cage and Abigail Chase go to the White House to find what they think is going to be the other
half of the board
in the other Resolute desk.
Yes.
Mr. Modern Family comes back. They distract him. Nicolas Cage opens the desk to find there's nothing in there.
No.
And so then he decides there's only one way to find it, and it must be in the Book of Secrets.
Yeah.
The President's secret book where all of
there's got to be a picture of the other half of that secret coded message.
Somewhere, yes.
Somewhere.
And the President, because they're very security conscious, writes it down in a book or something. And so...
and leaves it in a public library.
And leaves it in a library.
Love it.
The only way to get the information they need is to kidnap the President.
Hell yeah.
And that's the...
and the dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember we were talking about, like, come on. Stealing a Declaration of Independence? They possibly couldn't top it. No. Yeah. He's going to kiss the President on the mouth.
Yeah. He's got to get close enough to smooch him.
Hell yeah.
So they bust up the President's birthday party, which is held at Mount Vernon, which they kind of stage. They stage the whole situation of it being held at Mount Vernon.
Mm-hmm.
The Nic Cage manipulates the President. He's like, hey, there's hidden tunnels here. It'd be cool. The President, played by Bruce Greenwood, our guy from iRobot.
Totally.
He's like, I used to be an archaeology major. I love this kind of stuff. Let's go JRTs in this hidden tunnel. And then the President, he like gets rid of Secret Service.
Yeah.
Ben Gates basically like quasi kidnaps him.
Yeah.
But he tells him, he explains to him, he's like, hey, this really important thing, which John, me right here hosting this podcast, has no idea why. I don't remember.
Well, he's like, there's this obvious hidden treasure that is very important to American culture.
The City of Gold.
And the only person who can help us find it is you, Mr. President, because you have the answer in your secret book.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And then the President says, he's like, I can help you, but I do have to pretend you kidnapped me.
Yeah.
So you got to outrun the
dick move.
A huge dick move.
He could just lie. He'd be like, nah, the door just closed on its own.
He could just do what he does at the end of the film and just fucking totally lets him off.
Why did he have the
hook.
FBI involved? He's a crazy guy.
And then the President says, like, you should, when you look at this Book of Secrets, you should also look at this page because it's important, which we never find out what it is. We were debating earlier.
Yeah.
You actually never find out. And the thing I read was, I read something, I think it may be on the IMDb trivia, was you never find out, and that may have been the setup for a possible third film.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So the
That
President
never
asked him,
happened.
like, when you do get the book, go to page 47 and confirm some things for me. And he doesn't.
And then
we never know.
Yeah. Well, at the end, they have a private discussion, which no one is privy to.
A life-altering thing that he sees on there.
So Ben Gates leaves. The President gets a ride home from a trucker who probably didn't vote for him.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ben Gates and the gang go up to the
They go to
Library of Congress.
Yeah.
Go to that secret department.
What do you
find the
think?
book.
What do you think of the depiction of the president in this? Like Bruce Greenwood, kind
Chill
of
guy.
like he's played the president like 4 times in cinema.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, he says like he quotes something and says like, you know, people don't think the president is like a regal office anymore or something like that, which is so funny because this was like 13 years ago. And it's like, man, imagine if you
should see this.
Bruce, imagine if you could see it now.
Yeah,
You know,
boy.
it's a little different. Yeah.
This is going to bring us back to our top 5 at the end of the episode.
Okay,
so
perfect.
we will speak
All right,
less.
cool.
Yes.
Bring back the top 5. And then what happens?
So, Nic
go to
Cage and the
Library of
gang go
Congress.
to the Library of Congress, and they, through a series of codes that the president has provided them, they find somehow a magical book of secrets. They crack it open.
It's not magical. It's just a book of secrets.
It's a regular
Regular
book.
book of
There's no
secrets.
Dumbledore magic involved. So they get it. They open up the pages. Ta-da! They find that second half of the scroll that they've been looking, or the tablet
Yes.
with the code that they've been looking for. Nic Cage takes a picture of it. The police gets there, but they, there's another wild chase scene, and they all get away. In the middle of this, Ed Harris is like, "Aha! I have tapped Nic Cage's phone."
Yeah, he's tapped his phone since he left for Paris. Basically.
Yeah. So let's like cut these two off and go directly to
Helen Mirren. And then John Voight comes to Helen Mirren with the other half of the tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they kidnap mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
And eventually, I mean, nothing else really important happens until they all meet up at Mount Rushmore.
Inevitably, they learn from the Book of Secrets is that Mount Rushmore was connected, because built as a cover-up.
Yeah, there was a lost city
On
of
top
gold
of a
that
lost city of
would never
gold?
be found, but apparently it's right in this like lake that's near a
Yeah.
famous monument that no one seemed to
That's right.
be like, wonder what's in that hole over there on the other side of the lake. People are like, nothing, water. What do you think? Yeah.
So it's just a hole. Don't worry about it.
Why is there a Secret Service agent posted there 24/7, 365?
I said, don't worry about it.
Because the water is dangerous over here.
Yeah, man.
It could be a threat to our national security.
Careful though.
So eventually, Ed Harris,
Yeah.
the whole gang, they go and they find the City of Gold.
They discover it.
Yep. It's a great set.
Yeah.
It's filling with water. It's a classic fucking thing.
Yeah.
Ed Harris sacrifices himself to save them.
Yeah.
And he
After
drowns.
several times trying to kill them all to get
Definitely,
out of there
yeah.
first.
He definitely tried to save himself.
He just gets tired of
and then
losing.
he also like he's like, I want to get credit for this discovery.
Yeah.
So again, much like Natch 1, the good like a good villain, because he's not just like
He's not like one
he's
track.
not like Mr. Burns, like
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
evil.
yeah.
Like he's actually
He's got layers.
got a purpose.
He's
yeah.
an orange.
Yeah, and he's played by Ed Harris, one of our great
Totally.
actors.
Totally.
Yeah. Ed Harris playing, Ed Harris.
Ed Harris, yeah. Peak Harris.
Ultimate. He's basically playing
Ultimate
the ultimate Ed. Basically playing the same guy he plays in A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah.
Pollock probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Ben promises to give him credit for the discovery, and they are arrested by the FBI, and then they're taken to the president.
Mm-hmm.
The president takes a very close look at this case personally, and he's like, "Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Got it all covered."
Mm-hmm.
So if you're ever worried about how the government is corrupt and there's lots of conspiracy theories, you're right. You are right.
You
Because
should read
Then also, ultimately, the president gives back Riley's fucking Ferrari.
tax-free. With a note on it that says tax-free from
fucking
the president.
cronyism in the White House. Can you believe it?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already got tomorrow's newspaper, so what else can he do?
Yeah, that is so funny because this whole thing about like Thomas Gates, it's on the front page.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, no one knows who that is.
Great.
Hey, Martha, Thomas Gates is cleared of
I
all
know,
wrongdoing
which is so
from over
crazy.
140 years ago.
That like everybody knows this guy, but maybe it is
dumb.
maybe it is one of those like pop culture things where you find a man who discovers
dude,
a treasure.
They live in a strange world where minor characters in history are like celebrities.
No, I don't know. If like someone found Atlantis, it would still be a big deal
Yeah,
for
bro,
us.
fucking tell NPR. I don't care. Like, it gives a shit.
I don't give a shit about Blue World. We already got Avatar. You're right.
Fucking that people are like, this really interesting thing happened in history. It's like, no, dude, if it was interesting, I would have heard about it.
It's not on Twitter, so I don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, X.
I'll read your Wikipedia about it, okay, Glenn Beck?
Thanks, Glenn Beck.
God.
This is going to attract a weird audience if we say his name one more time. Like
Who,
Bloody
Glenn
Mary.
Beck's?
Oh, God damn it. I did it again.
He's been right behind you this whole time.
Oh, Don't scare
I've
me
been
like
him.
that.
All right. That's National Treasure 2.
That's
It's
Natty
a
Tresz
convoluted and
2.
stupid plot.
Man.
Honestly, this movie is like not they're really worth watching.
It doesn't match up to the first.
The first one is so much better and it's so good.
I agree.
And this one is just it's a tough act to follow, but it doesn't even follow it that well.
I'll tell you what, the treasure is more impressive in this one. It's a whole city. There's so much gold. The scene of them sort of showing the like depths and heights of how much gold is there in the cage.
But like the breadth of the treasure in the original one is so cool because they have so many different things. They have Benjamin Franklin's dick fucking machines and
whoa.
They have tubs. They have tubs of
flashlight
lube.
of gold.
They have lube that's over 140 years old.
Yeah,
like
at
it's
least.
so much better. And also like the
It's
Knights
true.
Templar, the Masonic stuff. It's like makes more sense. Whereas like this one,
Yeah,
it feels
it
like
does have a lot of.
it
words.
feels like a complete MacGuffin, and it's like there's no real. There's no even connection I find to history about it.
No.
Like
this is a little. It reminded me a little bit of Stargate. I don't know if it's not in execution, but just in terms of like, oh yeah, we're doing the word math to solve the puzzle quiz, and getting to the trash.
Stargate, a fantastic film, but Stargate is like has an explanation for why ancient Egyptians worshipped these gods.
And it's brief, right? It does obviously
Yes.
it does a good quick job of doing
This
it.
movie just doesn't feel like it
No.
has a very significant historical connection to anything. The treasure doesn't. I get the Thomas Gates story does, but the treasure just doesn't seem very relevant.
Yeah, why is
And
it?
so,
Who cares?
Like, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And like,
Yeah.
I just don't.
I agree.
I wish
agree.
that they spent more time weaving this into history in some better way.
Yeah. Oh my God. But overall, man, I'm still glad we watched it. I still want a Natty Tresz 3. Give us
Riz Ahmed and Helen Mirren.
give us
Yeah.
the Natch.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You got a top 5?
You know, I was thinking earlier too, and I do have a top 5, but why this? We have a Bruce Greenwood character, good, measured, president.
Yeah. would
Why
vote
this
for him.
movie just wouldn't work with Trump?
Should we explain what we watched earlier today?
Go on.
Well, I mean, in keeping with the quality of this film, we went to see Citizen Kane in a theater.
Hell yeah.
And there was the guy who presented it. He had a special presentation afterwards, which was a video of Donald Trump
Commenting on Citizen Kane.
giving a brief commentary on what he thought Citizen Kane was about.
Yeah.
And it's the most sense he's made ever, I think. Yeah.
And just just dripping,
But-
so wet with irony.
But there was also
Beautiful.
There was also like flashes of who he would become.
Yes, 1,000%.
I'm not sure if they'd chose another word, but Rosebud.
That's so crazy because for the longest time, like at least 30 seconds in, I thought maybe this is one of those like AI faces of Donald Trump being made to say these things.
It looked about as real.
Because
Yeah.
it was so weird that if he is really someone who's saying these words after watching a movie and then today
But like
he is the person
there
he
was a
is.
time where he was like a legitimized person, and
Yeah.
shockingly, the presidency like cratered that. Like that usually doesn't happen that way. But yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if he had anything to do with that
no.
in his behavior or his
No.
actions.
I
Okay,
mean,
go on.
I don't know. I'm just wondering like how the Book of Secrets would do in Trump's hands. Among many other reasons.
Bad.
It requires reading a book, so he's going to be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you want to give me a book? No thanks, Barack Hussein Obama."
Please subscribe to Audible. My Book of Secrets is on
Yeah.
Audible. Yeah.
So today's top 5 is secrets that Trump would write in this book. Okay. Number 5.
Oh my God.
6
What's-
herbs and 5 spices from his favorite fried chicken recipe.
What Stormy Daniels feels like. Yeah.
Hey, whoa. That is no secret, baby. That is no secret.
I don't even know what happened between him and Stormy Daniels. That's how disconnected
No.
I am. So yeah,
No.
I just know those are 2 names, and
It don't
one
matter.
was an adult performer.
Yeah. I feel like KFC would be a big part of it.
Yeah.
6 herbs, 5 spices.
I feel like someone like Donald Trump would, maybe not in the first 100 days of his presidency, but at some point he would like gather his entire staff and kind of be like, all right, we have to get down to brass tacks here. Bring me the 11 herbs and spices from KFC. And they'd be like, Mr. President, I don't think we can do that. And he would be like,
What?
I am the leader of the free world. I want all 11 herbs and spices on my desk in 2 hours.
And if he
Yeah.
doesn't, KFC's cancel and Burger King stays undisputed.
To be honest, I think that's what the Comey affair was all about. I never watched the movie, but that's what I guessed.
Number 4, Epstein's phone number. It's just in there for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, but a lot of people have that.
Got it. Yeah. At this point, not a secret.
No,
it's just you just gotta dig a little bit. Maybe go to the second page.
You could probably find it on the internet right now.
You could. Number 3, he's just like drawing his own signature 50 times. Donald, Donnie, Don Trump. It's great.
How should I sign? What's the best way to sign things?
He's just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And he lands on the most absurd seismographic fucking up-down shit.
Yeah, I could imagine. I could imagine like those like hot mic conversations where like Donald Trump is like talking to his aide or whatever, being like, "When the president signs stuff, does he actually sign it?" And they're like, "Yeah." It's like, okay, how should I sign it? Like my full name? What's more regal?
What's
more powerful?
Do I write president before my name?
Yeah. Is president part of my legal name now?
Is there 2 Z's in like how do I log it down?
How many D's are in president?
Prezi.
Tell me the truth.
Oh my God. Number 2. He's just got like the words blame China, but he's misspelled China with a Y. I feel like I'm being really hard on him. I bet he can spell. At least that.
Yeah.
Maybe not Kofefi, but
everyone has spell check, right?
Everyone's got a spell check. But it's a handwritten diary.
Kofefi, what a time.
Yeah.
What a time.
In the before times.
I mean, let's be honest. That's National Treasure 3 right there, isn't it? Nic Cage.
Oh, yeah. God, what a treasure. And number 1 secret that he would write in this book, it'd just be like a mind map with like arrows. So it would be like just words connected. So it starts with Book of Secrets. Secret messages, Chinese whispers, China, Great Wall of China, Wall Street, build a wall, and then full stop, and it's just like his presidential seal.
I thought you were gonna say like it would be a like that big desk that the presidents sit around.
Yeah,
just like a map with names on it of like the people around the state, and he has to like every time someone speaks, he's like, okay, yeah, that's Ed. And then it's got like a bunch of crossed out names from the people he's fired.
What's your name again? Cross.
But he also like, I would love just like picture, he like has it spread in front of him and not even like hidden, just everyone can see that he has like his entire staff written down.
Condi Rice just like looking real nervous, like lingering real close.
Just like when like one person says something, you just see him like cross off their name.
That's a power move he learned from Dick Cheney.
It's like Donald P. D. Trump.
Yeah.
I don't know if just maybe could you not tweet this for 2 hours? And he's just like, I'll think about it. Just
crosses his name out.
Just like frantically scribbles.
Get me the Book of Secrets now.
Oh man,
what a treasure.
I thought I could never laugh about Trump again because it was so played out, but you did it. Yeah,
I did it.
As I said, he is like the most entertaining person around, and I wish I could watch.
That is one word for
his
him,
trial.
for sure.
Yeah. I admire him, and I think that he's done a great job. And when he's president again, I would definitely be like, I'm moving from Canada to be broadcast in the United States instead of here.
When we're got our air conditioners on and we're just watching it from Iceland as the snow melts beneath our ground.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's been the low ceiling, folks.
Yeah. So vote Trump 2024.
Hey, whoa. Stop it. Glenn Beck's listening. Don't give him ideas.
Listen, Glenn Beck, if you want to sponsor us, and by that I mean pay us money and we'll do nothing, great. Thank you. I would take your money.
Thanks, GB.
Juro Scotch, yes, absolutely. We'll take
Juro
your money,
sure.
and we'll take the whiskey. We don't even take the money.
No cash.
National Treasure 2. It's an okay movie.
Go check it out.
Thanks for listening. And happy holidays, because you would have heard a holiday episode last episode. A silly, goofy holiday episode.
Treasure what's real. Money.
Voting.
A family. In that order.
The national treasure is like your family and your friends and the gold that you should be hoarding because of Armageddon.
That's true.
Yeah.
Focus on that.
The movie.
DVD and nothing else.
The film should have scared you into hoarding gold.
Yes, 100%.
Thank you for listening.